Sorry about that. I'm going to just make sure that we got everyone muted. Okay. I believe we're good now. And okay, fantastic. Sorry about that. All right, cool. So December, I always kind of like start December by looking at, okay, what was it I was accomplishing this quarter? Because I set my goals quarter by quarter, and I would recommend you do the same. When you set goals longer than 3 months out, they get too far out there, in my opinion. And it's important to have vision that is longer than 3 months, but in terms of goals, I would keep them 3 months or longer. I like to do my goals in a format that I call my roles and my goals. So let me talk about that for a second, and then we'll get into some other stuff too that I wanted to share with you today, which is starting out December and how to do it well. So when you look at goals, they need to be written, or else they don't matter. Okay. They also they need to be defined. I would recommend that you do them within a SMART format. Okay, so SMART is an acronym for simple, measurable. You don't have to know how to spell things to do this, by the way. Measurable, attainable, relevant, and time specific. That's a SMART goal. So the other thing that I do with goals is I line them up within a format of be, do, and then have. So if you haven't done this exercise, I highly recommend that you do it, specifically as you're looking at 2018 and wrapping up 2017. So, who do you want to be? I want to be a great father with time with my kids. So if I just said a great father, I wouldn't really define that very well. That would not be measurable at all. So, I want to do one date night per month with each of my kids. And so the way that I do that is on their birthday day. I learned this from Tim Breland. On their birthday day, I spend that time. So that's something I want to be. Something that I want to do is I'm getting my motorcycles license again because I'm going to go to Sturgis next August with Bob Snyder. Something that I want to have is let's see, what do I want to have? Let me think about that. I do. I'm going to get a motorcycle in the spring. Okay. So those are some of my but these are real, I'm not just making them up. That's kind of what I've got going on right now. Well, within my different roles, now I break down my goals. Okay. So write down your roles, right? Like I'm a father, I'm a husband. All right. I'm a friend, and I recommend that you do these in each of your roles. And then you will have very specific goals. So we call it roles and their goals. And it's a very good way to line out the goals that you are going to go after. And I would recommend it in 90-day goal setting activity. 90 days is basically, you got 4 quarters in the year, and we're rounding out the 4th quarter of this year. So the reason why goals are so important, and more specifically, a dream, I'm going to call it a fantasy. A fantasy turns into a goal when it's written down. And then when you put it in front of you so that you can visually see it somewhere, like on your screen lock on your phone, or write with a dry erase marker on your bathroom mirror, these are very powerful things, because 98% of what we do every day is subconscious. We don't consciously think about, the majority of things that we do. So what are the subconscious things in your life that you've placed in your life to help you achieve your goals. Well, Think and Grow Rich is a book that I read it annually. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read it yet this year, make that your goal before the end of this year, to understand many of the things about how to develop as a person and what success is, using the self-confidence formula. I mean, everything that has ever stemmed in the self-development arena has come from that book, from Napoleon Hill, written in 1927. Highly, 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 highly recommend that book. The thing about being an entrepreneur, my wife and I were just talking about this. My son, Josiah, is 9, and we're playing the game Cash Flow quite often, and it's a good game, right? And Cash Flow, there's a lot of emphasis on running a business, and so my son is like, I want to be an entrepreneur. How do I become an entrepreneur? And there's not a piece of paper, right? There's not a degree that you can get. There's not a now I'm an entrepreneur, right? It's a nebulous thing. It's not something that is recognized within our society very well. You know, lately, I would say even within the last 5 years, I've heard a lot more about being an entrepreneur. But prior to that, it was really looked down upon. I mean, it just, you're not going to, 97% of the people out there aren't doing what you're doing. So you got to realize that they're not going to just fully embrace your new business and fully embrace you and how you're changing and growing. And so it is important to surround yourself with people that are going to encourage you in this endeavor. They're going to validate you. They're going to work with you. And that's what we have here in Renatus. And it's such a fantastic thing. As I heard Ron talking about all of the different events that we have a saying that if you need to come to every meeting that you commit to, right? There's one rule in Renatus. If you come to every meeting, come to the event and don't ever come alone, and you'll make money. That's like rule number 1. Don't ever come alone. And then the second thing is, if you don't need the meeting needs you. And it is so important to understand the funnel that we have here within Renatus and why it's designed the way it is and how important it is to move people through the exposure. So, we have a very simple process of sales here within Renatus, right? It is, how do you find the people that are interested? Find quality leads, okay? And I make an emphasis on quality here because quantity is somewhat easy. Quality is, somebody that, in my opinion, they are ready, financially ready and psychologically ready to make a change in their life. So people go through cycles of life. And many times, as I've been in this business now over 5 years, I have picked up somebody that I originally contacted 4 or 5 years ago. And now they're ready to work with me because their life has changed. They lost their job. They recently, went through a major shakeup. Different things like that happen, health concerns. And so now they're jumping on board and they're calling me now because I'm still committed and consistent with my business. I'm still here. But quality leads, for me, I'll schedule a one-on-one with somebody that has a credit score above 680. That is what we call a red apple, right? And otherwise, I tend to move them to the group setting, and that's just kind of what I do. So let me talk about the process. So first, you find the quality leads, and then you move them. You invite to an event. Okay, so find the people, tell the story. So the invite process, the best practice scripts that I can give you for the invite process is in a book called Go Pro by Eric Worre. He's in the direct sales industry. He's actually in the MLM industry, but his book is fantastic when you're looking at the 7 skills needed to build this business. Go Pro by Eric Worre is the book I would highly recommend, especially around the invite process. I think it's chapter 4, where he breaks down the invite and how to increase your commitment to an event or a link or a video up to 85% simply by the way that you invite. So check that out. And then you have the events themselves. All right. So the events themselves, if you don't have an event, then make an event, right? Because it's an event to event business. It's an exposure to exposure business. All you're doing is guiding somebody through the process of the exposures. And the faster that you can squeeze those together, the higher likelihood there is that somebody is going to start with you. So find the people, tell a story, build for events. And then the follow-up process is really just, the funding process, helping them find the funds. That's what it's all about. All of this process, the number one thing that you need to do is build confidence. The most attractive attribute in anybody ever is confidence. Now, I'm not talking about ego. I'm talking about confidence. Well, how do you get confidence? Confidence comes from successful repetition. Successful repetition. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect progress. Practice makes progress, and perfect progress makes perfect practice, and practice makes perfect. But seriously though, successful repetition is how you build confidence in anything. Look, if you've never done something, you're not going to be very good at it. So the only way that you can get good at it is to ask someone that has done it to help you, which is what we do on a consistent basis. Every single day of the week, we have a webinar. More support than you could ever ask for. Every leader in this community is happy to share what's worked for them. And confidence, you also have the ability to build confidence in the small things. So when I talk about the small things, what I'm talking about is just simple things like, the way, how you're dressed can really help you with your confidence. Walking fast, it sounds funny, but being on purpose, wearing a watch, there's so many things that can help you be confident in the way that you interact with people. There's a lot of literature out there about it on confidence builders, but the most attractive thing is confidence. And when it comes to the 4 parts of our business, confidence is key. It's the number one attribute that you need, because people that are beginning to consider if they want to do Renatus, what they really want to know is, can I work with this person? Like, can I follow this person to where I want to go? Is this someone I can work with? Can I trust them? Do I believe them? And there's 3 questions in everyone's mind. Does it work? These are the 3 questions you gotta answer in your process of sales. Does it work? Will it work for me? And this is so much about the events, right? This is what the events do. Social validation shows you person after person after person, story after story after story of it working. Does it work? Will it work for me? And then the last question they ask is, will I do it? Right? And you got to ask them that. You have to ask them that question. Will you do it? Right? Will you follow me? And that's the closing process, because sales is the features and the benefits, but the closing process is you asking the question for the committed decision, right? Let's get this going. Let's get this started. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can incentivize that close, that decision to close. And I would recommend that you come up with some incentives specifically here at the end of the year. It's now December 4th, meaning you have 10 days to get an order in that will pay you in 2017, right? 10 days, because we have a 12-day pay cycle. So the next 10 days, how do you get one essentials? How do you get an upgrade? Who do you call? How do you tackle that? Well, make a list and then incentivize that list. So what are some of the incentives that you can do? one that's worked a lot and very well for me is an iPad. Believe it or not, providing a tool for people as an incentive, as part of their commission, is a great incentive to push them to a decision. I've heard of, people assisting individuals with a new suit, to help them in their business. Gift cards is a great way. I try not to, actually don't incentivize with a discount on their education or from my commission, because once you do that, that will move forward through the rest of your sales. Like if you do that for one person, they're going to do it for everyone in their organization. So just don't do that. Incentivize with, yes, it's 20 grand, but if you make that decision by tomorrow, because you're pushing the urgency, right? Urgency is key here. That's what incentives are all about, or urgency. When you push that urgency, then they make a decision, right? And you can take it away and say, I did that at the end of November. I had some people right on the cusp, and I incentivized them to make that decision in November. And that pushed 2 full sales through, which pushed me over the $1 million mark in income, which was pretty cool. I made some posts about that. If you're looking to see, some of the things that I'm doing in my business, a lot of what I'm doing is on Facebook right now. You're welcome to go to my profile, check it out. It's, it's a mixture of lifestyle attraction and lifestyle marketing. And then I do live videos on my projects, and I'm getting a lot of leads from that. It's called organic Facebook marketing. It's working very well. I'm also starting to do some some paid advertising on Facebook, and some of my colleagues are doing that, and they're doing very well with that also. So there's so many ways to find the leads out there, you guys, because what we have is fantastic, and we have it together. There's a lot of you on the line right now, well over 60 of you. And as I scroll through and I see, Alex and Ammon and Benny and Bianca and Amanda Miller and Brett, and gosh, I want to read all your names, because I want to encourage you, because you're not alone in this, by the way. I know that you know that because you're on this webinar, but being an entrepreneur is hard. There's a lot of things to learn. There are skills that you maybe never had until you came into this business. What I want to encourage you, as $1 million earner in this company, the fastest to ever achieve that within this company, is that I had very little of these skills when I came in. I had confidence in myself because my wife had confidence in me, but I had never spoken in public before I came into this company. I had never been in sales before I came into this company. I came into the Renatus to flip houses, and I didn't even invite someone down to an event for 10 months. Once I did, I got serious about it. And I would recommend that what you focus on, what you make as a goal, that you get serious about it. You commit to it. You stay committed. You stay consistent, and you stay creative, and you will succeed. Move people through the process, find them through there's many different ways to find people. Talking to people, 3-foot rule. Your warm market is by far the best, who you already know and who they know. And don't forget how they know you, because you can reinvent how they know you. Your warm market list, and the way that you reinvent how they know you is the velocity banking concept. Okay, write this down. It's not who you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know, but how they know you. How can you change how people know you in your life so that they're attracted to want to work with you? Velocity banking. That's it. Give them a concept they've never heard of and simply explain to them what it is, and they will want to come to an event. Velocity banking is it's our strongest close. It's our sexiest topic. And it's how you can reinvent how your warm market list knows you. If you're looking to push 10,000 before Christmas and commissions, focus on velocity banking with your warm market, change how they know you, and invite them down to an event to learn more. That's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. Use an incentive and urgency for the close. And then don't forget to set up for 2018 with some fantastic first quarter goals to keep consistently in front of you to motivate you to action. because if you're just thinking about it, it doesn't work. You have to take action on what you think. So hopefully that was coherent and could help you guys with some of the things here in the last month of the year. I'm excited to see you all at our Christmas party. We gave out over 300 free tickets. Kids are free. And now the event is on the calendar here in Utah for $25 a ticket. We got food and fun and contest prizes and games and bull riding and Santa Claus. It's going to be a riot. It's Tuesday night from 5 to 10. Come and wear an ugly sweater and maybe you'll win $100. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today, and we'll talk soon. We'll see you at our future events. Thanks so much.